YouTube Nation, me man, Mr. B again. And I want to put some attention on this ganja business. I noticed last week, Friday, people out of Spanish Town have big demonstration about this business of Jamaica import ganja out of Canada. And, while that is a significant development and is something that we should be concerned about, I want to submit that is a red herring, is a way the man them basically throw that in front of it so that we take our eye off of the main issue. And the main issue is simply this. Ganja is something that Jamaica has been synonymous with for decades. I mean, I talked about yesterday or 10 years ago, but we'll go back to some 50, 60 years ago, right? And whether we want to accept it, like it or not, the illegal ganja export business is not exactly a young industry. It's a pretty well organized industry that has been very, very successful. And if you doubt that argument, just go back to the point that we make earlier on, that Jamaica and ganja is synonymous around the world in the very same way that Jamaica, ganja, and reggae music is equally synonymous. This is something that we have demonstrated our ability to do, and to do it very, very well. So here comes the opportunity, and this started a couple of years ago. Remember, we have, for all the time we out there, I put weed pan plane in an illegal way and build airstrip for run ganja runnings and all of them things. There has been the lobby that has been underground to legitimize the use of ganja in Jamaica. A lot of artists in reggae music have spent their careers fighting this thing. None better than the late great Peter Tosh. But that is an aside. The point is, we have put ourselves in a position from a political and policy formulation standpoint where the government has established the CLA, the cannabis, the licensing authority, cannabis licensing authority, to regulate who participates in this industry. And the first thing that they do is that they set this high barrier. You have to you have to pay a $10,000 licensing fee. Now, $10,000 might be a little bit of money to some people, but to the average man out there, especially in the farming community, $10,000 is like trying to touch the sky, to touch heaven. Is a whole heap of money. And so that's the first artificial barrier for participation. And then what you have now done is then you set up a regulatory framework that sets some ground rules that all of these small farmers have to abide by, or to meet these terms in order to participate in the industry, which by themselves require the outlay of millions of dollars. So technically, what is happening is that the people who are at the table negotiating and setting the stage for the development of this industry is literally looking at it from the perspective that we've been into ganja growing and export for years, and it has always been a very profitable industry. So this green gold thing, if we can keep it to itself, then we will make a bag of money, And whether we want to like it or not, we need to appreciate that you elect governments and you put them in place to help set the stage for the creation of economic opportunities for the broader participation of your nationals. And this is not what is happening with this current administration. Maybe too we can make the same argument for the previous administration, that politicians are in this thing to help them friend and themselves and not Jamaica. We have retarded the growth of this country by virtue of the policies that we have pursued. In the same way we pursue this low remuneration policy because we are talking about inflation. It's the same kind of argument. So you don't want ordinary Jamaicans to have money. And so we set up all of these things. If you're serious about the ganja thing, you create windows. The Development Bank of Jamaica, you give them a extra billion or $2, and you say to them, provide the kind of funding, or open a funding window for the people who are involved in the business of growing ganja, and then you broaden it so that it actually deal with existing farmers and people who want to legitimize their operation, right? The other thing you want to do as well is that we want to hear from places like the Ministry of Agriculture. Ganja is an agricultural crop, but yet the Ministry of Agriculture doesn't speak to the ganja industry. It is being spoken for by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, by a man who lead the ministry to who not even supposed to do so based on him own antecedents. But that is an aside. It is clear that what has happened, what is happening in Jamaica, is that we are creating these empires. The political directorate is creating these empires for their supporters and people who are close to them, who are close to the feeding trough that is Jamaican politics. And so the idea that we're going to build out a ganja industry that should be able to float the economy, that is a panacea. Basically, they must sell their argument, but they must do a different kind of thing, right? Think about this. The company that was granted this license to import weed into Jamaica, right? If you look at it, it is one of the principals in that company. Is a Canadian entity, right? That has, I think it's 47 or 49% of the equity in the registered Jamaican company. One of the other major principals is the son of a member of the existing political administration. And so it is clear that the intent is to set this thing up in such a way that only a handful of the chosen benefits from it, right? Ganja is a big draw for the tourist trade. People come to Jamaica for smoke weed because Jamaica grow the best weed in the world. So when we import weed out of Canada, we grow weed in a greenhouse. A bull crap argument that, and but again, it is a way to test the water to see how much pushback Jamaica people are going to give to this development. And if they get away with it, we just open the door wider while for our friends and the few chosen people, and then you lock out the rest of Jamaicans and keep them in a poverty. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. We need to pay attention. We need to start talking. We're talking about this business, or we were getting into partnerships with people of foreigners. Them not talk about foreigners that include Jamaicans in the diaspora. And them are talk about some white people where they all over the world who have no business in Jamaica, but for go down, they're going to make a profit and repatriate those profits overseas, which again also stymies the development of the Jamaican economy, increases its inflation, and maintains the country in a state of poverty. Listen, this is a big issue, and it requires all the way to start open our eyes and our mouths, talk about it and raise hell, right? Because that's the only way we are going to get the kind of attention needed to turn this thing around. Let me hear from you. What want to think about what me I say? What want to think about what me think? If you haven't signed up for the site, subscribe to the channel. And again, as I say, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, hit the like button and share with your friends. But, more importantly, I'd love to get your feedback in the comment section of the video. Also, may I use the opportunity to invite you to visit my website at yardmedia.com. See it under the thing there, so YAAWDmedia.com. And check out some of the other videos that we have. Also visit me on our website at yardabra.com for, some real nice reggae music shirt and some art and them sort of something there. Give me your feedback. All right? And me, see you, man. Mr. B. Respect.